Hey assholes, what's cracking? Atheist Pagan here, breaking it down. So I've had an interesting week. So this week I experienced a drug interaction so bad I almost stroked out. And it was a trip that I could only compare to watching Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So here's what went down. A year ago, I had bariatric surgery, specifically the duodenal switch. Okay, you can look that up if you want to. I don't feel like explaining it. Anywho, September this year, my 1 year anniversary. So it's time to start taking steps for skin removal because there's a lot of skin because I was huge. I mean, I'm still huge, but I'm less huge than I was before. If I'm to use the Gabriel Iglesias scale, I went from damn to fluffy. So anywho, it's time for the skin removal and for any insurance to cover it because it is technically a cosmetic surgery. You have to prove that it's medically necessary. So you have to take steps to prove that. The first step was using medicinal avenues, if I may. So my bariatric surgeon I can't talk. My bariatric surgeon prescribed to me a drug that is intended to boost my metabolism. A little drug called fentanyl, which I've recently learned is the refurbished version of fen-phen, if anyone is old enough to remember that debacle from the late 90s. So I get my phentermine. I'm sorry, it's phentermine. So I get my phentermine, which, by the way, my insurance didn't cover. I had to pay out of pocket, but luckily, the good people at GoodRx, not sponsored, but they're good. It's a good place. GoodRx got a coupon, easily manageable price. So I get the fentanyl, and after 2 days, only 2 days of taking it, my health had gotten so bad that I had to go to the ER. And let me explain. I started taking it Sunday morning. I decided to take it in the morning since it's a once-a-day pill. So I took it Sunday morning. Sunday night, I couldn't sleep. I just chalked it up to a typical anxiety attack. I get those all the time. So I get, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the opposite of narcolepsy. Why am I retarded? Insomnia. I had insomnia Sunday night, Monday morning. Didn't sleep. My heart kept racing. But again, I just chalked it up to a panic attack. I suffer social anxiety. I get panic attacks all the time. So I just chalked it up to that. Monday morning, I came into work for my usual OT, because right now we got unlimited OT from certain times a day. And if they're going to keep writing those checks, I'm going to keep cashing them. So I come in early for my OT, and I take my morning medication when I get to work. And within about 10 to 20 minutes, it got worse. Now, the night previous, I didn't really sleep much, like I just said, insomnia, but I had a few bits of sleep. When I did sleep, I had very vivid nightmares, which I don't do nightmares. And I was having auditory hallucinations, which I get those all the time too. I'm mentally unstable, but I'm stable enough to know how to drown those out and deal with the auditory hallucinations. Well, 10 minutes after taking my morning pills, not only did the auditory hallucinations get worse, but I started having waking hallucinations and waking nightmares, if I may. And it was so bad, even though I had gotten to work at 9:30, I was like downstairs sitting in a cafe area for like 2 or 3 hours, just sitting there, freaking out, trying to figure out what I was going to do. Because I was having a massive panic attack my heartbeat was racing faster than I've ever felt it, and felt like it was going to come out of my chest, alien style. I was having visual hallucinations, auditory hallucinations, and I developed this stutter, and I was stuttering this bad. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone with a stutter. I'm just giving you an example of how bad the stutter was. If you've watched any of my videos, I'm a very eloquent kind of person. I try to, pronounce my words properly. So stuttering, especially for someone who works on the phones, not a great idea. So I'm outside. I'm sitting down by myself. I'm sweating profusely, which even though I'm fat, I do not sweat. Sweating profusely. I'm outside. I think I'm burning up. It's only 88 degrees in the morning. I'm outside. I keep saying I'm outside for, I felt claustrophobic outside. All of this stuff's happening. And I was writing down my symptoms as they were happening so I could show them to people. And then I Googled my symptoms. Because I had no idea what the fuck was happening. I was freaking the fuck out. So I Googled the symptoms, and the second link on Google was, I think, drugs.com, and it said, these are the symptoms of a drug interaction between phentermine, which I was just prescribed and I just started taking, and duloxetine. Duloxetine is the generic form of Cymbalta, which is a depression medication, which I've been on for years. So I called my doctor. When I get a hold of my doctor, it took me a while. And for the first time in my entire life, even though I've had some bad shit happen to me, I've never heard this from a doctor before. He said, go directly to the emergency room. Of course I'm fine. Now. But it's made me... One, it was the most terrifying experience of my life. I was scared. I have never been scared before, especially with my health. For the most part, with my health, I'm like, I'll deal with it. Diabetes, dealt with it. Obesity, dealing with it. Anxiety, dealing with it. No worries, man. Just fucking deal with it, right? This, I could only call it a trip, was the worst experience of my life. It was terrifying. I was in tears, and I don't cry in public. I just don't. And some of the auditory hallucinations was a voice over my overhead going, this is what you get for having no God. And now it seems stupid, but at the time, it was part of what was freaking me the fuck out. And so I go to the ER, they check me out. My blood pressure was normal, but my heartbeat was racing. There was nothing they really could do to pump my system. It had to just run its course. So they essentially knocked me out. They gave me, I think, Ativan. So I slept for 6 hours in the hospital. I woke up. I wasn't as bad. I was still suffering the effects, but I was able to go home. I had to take another day off work yesterday to finally clean me out. And I don't like not trusting medical professionals because that's their job. This is what they're supposed to do. And looking back on the appointment I had with my bariatric surgeon, he didn't even take the time to check if there would be any effects with my current medications. He just goes, here's an idea, take this, here's a script. For some people, I've heard phentermine works. It didn't work for me. On the bright side, I now know pretty much what will happen if I ever take mushrooms. Never taken shrooms, but I pretty much got it figured out. But yeah, it was like, it was seriously, I was literally experiencing that scene from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas where Johnny Depp's character is in the bar and all he sees is fucking dinosaurs everywhere. It was that level of hallucination. I was freaking the fuck out. I'm fine now. Or as fine as I can be. But I just wanted to update you guys, let you know what was going on. That's it for me, assholes. Always question.